There you are. Let's go. Man, we got all types of disturbing videos, creepy TikToks, and flat out mysterious theories coming right your way. If you're new around here, I'm Jet Ski Chuck. Don't believe everything you see on this video. Some things you might agree with, some things might just seem outrageous, and that's okay. Use your discernment. For context, these theories are not factual. 2 things we need to do. 1, hit that like button. 2, hit that subscribe button. With that being said, this is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in. What is this? A bear? Breaking: Colorado officials just sent a warning of do not touch to the residents after rabbits were spotted invading parts of the US with weird tentacles sprouting from their heads due to a virus. So now we have zombie rabbits to worry about and do not touch. Okay. Oh my goodness. How disturbing is this? Here's another close-up. Man. If Resident Evil taught me to do anything, but zombie rabbits? Who had zombie rabbits on their 2025 bingo card?
In Fort Collins, Colorado, people are spotting rabbits with black tentacle-like things growing out of their heads. And no, this is not from a horror movie. Wildlife officials say it's caused by a virus that causes wart-like protrusions in rabbits. It's not dangerous to humans, other animals, or pets, but it does spread between rabbits and there's no cure. In most cases, this doesn't harm them unless it covers sensitive areas like the eyes or the mouth. So if you see one in the wild, don't try to catch it, just leave it alone and let nature do its thing.
And this is how it starts. I suggest take all these out. Take them all out before the spread. It starts with plants. Then it starts with different larger organisms. Ants. The ants turn to beetles. The beetles turn to rabbits. What's next? Deer? Then they're going to be humans, bro. We're not going to do this in 2025, bro. Let's end off 2025 on a decent note. Leave that shit in The Last of Us.
What in The Last of Us is going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife confirms this is a virus that's not contagious to other animals like people's dogs, but they say leave this wildlife alone like you would with any of the neighborhood bunnies. They said these growths are kind of like benign cancer cells or like warts that just keep growing. They said they don't harm the rabbits unless they grow on sensitive areas like the eyes or mouth.
One word comes to mind: pestilence. What about that weird island that they were doing experiments on we heard about in a couple videos ago? I wonder if that has anything to do with this. For entertainment purposes only, don't come for me.
Most people are not going to like this, but I will still say it anyway. If you think working 50 years at a job you hate just to get a few years of, in quote, freedom when you're too old to enjoy it makes sense, well, I can't help but say you have been brainwashed. This isn't living, it's a trap. School trains you to obey. Work drains your best years. Retirement is the reward they dangle to keep you quiet. By the time you're free, your body's worn out, your energy's gone, and you spent your whole life building someone else's dream. That's not an accident. It's designed that way. A system built to keep you tired, broke, and too distracted to see the truth. The scam is simple. They steal your time while you're young and hand it back when you can't use it. And the cruelest part, most people defend the system that's enslaving them because they've been taught to call it normal life. But nothing about this is normal. It's just comfortable enough to keep you from revolting.
It's just a theory, not a fact.
So what's the answer? Homesteading? Growing everything off the land? Becoming self-sufficient? That's my best guess.
James and the Giant Peach is more than some story about a boy losing his parents. It's more than some boy who discovered a peach and crawling inside of it, then all of a sudden he becomes a cartoon. Once again, like I always say, this is a push of satanic agenda, and these creatures represent demons. Now, what do I mean by satanic agenda? Easy. It's showing you exactly how Satan works. He used your own mind against you. See, James was a poor boy who lived in an unhealthy condition. I'm talking about a boy that tears open an empty chip bag and starts licking it, displaying how hungry he is. James represents the people that are unfortunate, the people who are without, who will do anything to get. These are the type of people that's food for the devil, because he used your desires against you. See, at the beginning of the movie, he had these dreams of his parents. His parents are already dead. So these are not his parents. This dream is not him just dreaming. This dream is given to him by the devil to tempt him into doing what he wants him to do. And what does this representation of the devil want from James? It's simple. This representation of the devil wants James to lead its demons to a destination. And that's exactly what he did towards the end of the movie. You remember this part at the end of the movie? Bro, this ain't no happy ending. All these people are food and they don't even know it. Look at that demon that just opened the door, bro. These people are food. But this is a representation how Satan used people to mislead people. Bro, all these people in this crowd represent sheeps who will fall for anything. They can't even see that this is a whole wolf right here, bro. See, this movie represents temptation and how men fall into temptation so easily. Like, look at this right here, bro. They kept showing this New York picture to him. Oh, New York is full of dreams. It's the big city. We gotta go there. We gotta go there, right? They tempting him to do this. See, notice they keep showing you that tower in New York. See, the tower in New York symbolized the Tower of Babel. Notice they kept talking about moving to New York, bro. They talking about moving to Babylon, not New York. Babylon refers to the ancient city of the Euphrates River, known for its power and influence in Mesopotamia. That's what the big tower building represents, the Tower of Babel, which symbolized rebellion against God. There's a movie called Babylon by Brad Pitt, and if you look at the Babylon movie, you will see all the things they doing is having fun in sin. There's nothing good about Babylon. It's all about upholding lawlessness. If you really look at it, it's a shot at California. No one pushes idolatry and evil and sexual immorality more than Hollywood, bro. And that's just a straight fact. So when you see this scene about them telling him about New York, this represents Babylon. It represents the devil trying to get him to lead these demons to this area. And here we go again, another representation of Satan. This man represents Satan because what he is doing, he is tempting him to accept this agreement of leading these demons to this area. What you think that box represent? He's tempting this kid to accept dark magic from him. And he's going to tell him exactly what's going to happen when you accept this magic. That's how he was able to go into this peach and turn himself into a cartoon. Witchcraft. Now, like I said, he represents the devil. And he's showing you. Look what he's doing. Look what he's showing this kid. He's showing him that city, again, represents Babylon. But that was a false image. This is exactly what Satan did in the Bible when the devil took Jesus to a high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world. So yes, he clearly represents Satan. Then right after the boy accepted these wishes, accepted this witchcraft from this devil, then out of nowhere, there was a peach that started growing on this tree, which symbolized the forbidden fruit. It's just showing you how deceiving and cunning Satan is and how he rules the world with deception. It's a reason towards the end of the movie that they had the Statue of Liberty in the newspaper. Bro, this don't represent Lady Liberty. This represents Lucifer. That fire in his hand symbolized light bearer. That's exactly what Lucifer means, light bearer. It represents freedom, all right? Freedom to live in sin. What they doing in Hollywood right now, promoting sin. And then the very next scene is him celebrating his birthday with those demons. See, birthdays are not blessings from God. It's a ritual that started in Mesopotamia and Babylon. It was an amulet or protection from demons. And that's exactly what they did in this movie. These demons followed him all the way to this fake New York, which is Babylon. James and the Giant Peach is more than some story about a boy losing his parents.
Damn, that was great. I'd never seen that movie before, but I might have to watch it on Halloween. That was a gem.
We went to Iraq because we wanted to plunder some kind of artifacts they were looking for from other civilizations that came to Earth and started the whole program. And one of the officers said that this is our fourth civilization on Earth that has been this far or even further along than we are. The aliens that are under the mesa, they are there and they have been there long before us, I was told. Long before us. We work with
Under what mesa? You guys know what mesas are, right? A giant plateau, aka a giant tree stump.
them under some kind of a treaty. Supposedly one of our presidents made a treaty and that they agreed to give people to them. We're no threat to them at all. The only thing that we're threatening is ruining the planet. But we're not a threat. And they don't want to eliminate us, but this is the fourth time. Supposedly they had this experimentalist society.
The fourth time? Is he referring to resets, possibly?
Of a crossbreed, and we're number 4. Supposedly technology before us was way further advanced than what we are now, but it's eliminated. We can't even find it because it's eliminated. They eliminated. Supposedly they eliminated society before this one.
Many of you have probably seen this insane video. This video was taken by Elise Yagoda. She lives near South 84th Street in an apartment complex just steps away from the State Fair Park grounds. This was her view last night. And this is her car, which was fully submerged in water. We're back at this apartment complex during the day, and right now what's happening is restoration crews are working to get this water out of the garage. Restoration crews have been working for hours trying to pump all of this water out of that garage. Here's a closer look. The water has definitely receded some. The property owners here tell me that there are about 250 cars in both of their garages that are full of water.
I'll tell you a psychological truth that you must know. Sigmund Freud said this. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. Beware of people who seem too virtuous, who seem too good. They might be hiding something. And on the flip side, just remember somebody who's rough around the edges. Someone who's always not the absolute nicest, they might be your most loyal friend in time of need.
I think that's kind of true. It's kind of hard to mask an ugly heart. How's that saying go? Never judge a book by its cover.
You know that this microscopic creature is literally proof that fallen angels or superior intelligence have existed on this earth for a long time. Now, I say superior intelligence because, there's a lot of people around us that don't want to believe that fallen angels, that Satan, that God's real, even though we know it is real because we've seen things in the Bible that were proven scientifically, microscopically, well before we could even see the microscopic stuff. But who would be aware of the microscopic things on this earth and really the fabric of creation itself? Oh, that's right, the fallen angels, because the angels were with God in the creation of the earth in the beginning. Now let me explain. These aquatic microscopic creatures have these rotary wheels that are basically built into them, which defies logic. I mean, what kind of joint, not only joint, but joint and bearing and other things this would consist of and require? And before we could even see microscopic things, we had the same exact kind of creation, wheels and brushes and rotary tools, whether mechanical, and now we have electrical. On this page, I've showed y'all tons of things that without a doubt came from fallen angels. We have artificial intelligence. They claim it themselves. We have these semiconductors and these chips, things that we can't even see that can be made. Things like CAT scans and MRIs and just the function that really comes out of nowhere, that there's no way you can create it without a foundation of things we had no knowledge of. In Genesis 6, it talks about the fallen angels that mated with women and created the Nephilim, the giants. Also in Enoch, it talks about the fallen angels, the watchers coming down and giving technology to mankind, even tools to make war with. And obviously microscopic things around us that would make our life a lot easier that we had no way of even knowing. The truth about fallen angels is they can literally make nothing in themselves. All they can do is reverse and change the divine mechanisms that God himself created and teach people to use it for wrong. It just blows my mind. People say they don't exist. Even him himself made an AI robot. That's the picture of it, and it's based off of this character from this show right here. Why would he do that? Even now, there's people on this earth who claim to be an angel or a fallen angel, and the Bible talks about entertaining angels while completely unaware. Even if you don't believe the architects of our whole way of life, of all of our countries, all of our buildings, they definitely believed. And many of them were around way before all history was tampered. The truth is right in front of you, but it's up to you to believe. And no, this is obviously not artificial intelligence. Divine intelligence.
That is definitely interesting and mysterious, huh? If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. We have a feathery calcite with the turquoise and amber spikes protruding from it. Definitely makes this worthy of the specimen of the day, with the different colors, almost rainbow-like structures on top of the spikes. Resembles some type of dragon scaling is what's coming to mind. Some type of Arctic dragon scaling. Ooh. If I had to name this piece, I would call this Arctic dragon scales.
You ever notice how the world drains the people who feel the deepest?
This is the hard truth about having a good heart.
The ones with soft hearts that carry the heaviest loads, not because they're weak, but because they refuse to become what hurt them. You show up with love. They show up with agendas. You give to build. They take to survive. It's like being fluent in a language that no one wants to understand anymore. You speak soul. They speak convenience. And then you're left wondering, is there something wrong with me? No, there's something right with you. But right doesn't always feel rewarding. Having a good heart comes with consequences. You will be underestimated, misused, overlooked by people who confuse your peace with passivity. Stop expecting people with shallow intentions to handle your heart like it's sacred. It's not their job to protect it. It's your job to guard it without guilt. So no, don't stop loving, caring, but stop letting your love be the lesson for people who refuse to learn.
Wow, that was powerful, wise words. All right, guys, this next video I showed a clip of a couple days ago, but this goes even more detail, a longer version. So get your drink and popcorn. This is about to get interesting.
The world now calls aliens are the same beings ancient texts called gods and the Bible calls fallen angels. Their names change, their symbols evolve, but their mission has never shifted: to deceive, to dominate, to be worshipped. They want you looking to the stars, chasing false lights, gods who never made you, while they bury the past right beneath your feet. ISIS was not just a terrorist group, it was a smokescreen, a convenient cover for the destruction of ancient relics, temples, and sites that held knowledge predating the Abrahamic traditions, predating empire. They filmed themselves smashing statues and burning libraries under the guise of religious zealotry. But the real goal? Erase the evidence. Shatter the last remaining links to the truth of humanity's origin, to the gods we once knew, and the ones who ruled over us. Is it any wonder that mankind's earliest civilizations, Mesopotamia, Assyria, Babylon, the Levant, are now perpetual war zones? Places so volatile that legitimate archaeological digs are impossible. Every bombed-out ruin, every toppled ziggurat is another layer of truth buried in dust. The war isn't just for oil or land. It's for memory. It's for history. The fallen know that if we remember who we were, we might remember who they are. Long ago they descended from the heavens, the Anunnaki in Sumer, the Watchers in Enoch, the sons of God in Genesis chapter 6. They brought forbidden knowledge. They altered human DNA. They taught war, enchantment, and astrology. And they demanded blood in return. When God flooded the earth, it was not just to punish mankind, it was to erase the corrupted kingdoms of these beings. But they never left, they simply changed tactics. Throughout history they ruled through thrones and temples. They gave kings their crowns. They built religions in their image, and their most enduring stronghold, the Catholic Church, a system cloaked in holiness, yet filled with the architecture and rites of Babylon. The pine cone, symbol of spiritual control, rests in the Vatican courtyard. The papal staff bears it. The mitre worn by every pope mimics the head of Dagon, the Philistine fish god. This is not the church Christ founded. It is a replacement, a spiritual empire designed to mimic Christ and lead millions away from the truth. But in the 20th century, something changed. In 1947, something fell from the sky near Roswell, New Mexico. The official story twisted within days. Weather balloon, flying disc, weather balloon again. Behind the scenes, the truth was locked down, and a secret group was formed, Majestic 12. Majestic 12, or Magic 12, was not just a committee. It was the ritual handoff of earthly power from religious hierarchy to technocratic empire. The fallen, who had long ruled through Rome, now injected themselves directly into the heart of the American government. Not through temples, through briefings, not with idols, through aerospace, defense, and intelligence. Magic 12 became the new priesthood, its members the new gatekeepers of knowledge. The Vatican still held spiritual sway over billions, but now the Pentagon and Langley were added to the network, two horns rising together. They weren't managing alien visitors. They were in fact re-establishing communication with the same beings who once corrupted mankind. Through this network, the fallen controlled both church and state. The Pope speaks of unity, while generals prepare global governance. Two branches, one agenda, to rule, deceive, and prepare humanity for a false kingdom. And just as they built false religions to pull people from God, they now build false ideologies to do the same. Ancient alien theory is not a quirky idea. It's a modern heresy. It teaches that we were created by extraterrestrials, that the gods of old were visitors, that humanity's future lies not in salvation but in evolution guided by off-world beings. It replaces God with engineers. It replaces sin with ignorance. It replaces redemption with technology. This is not science. It is, quite simply, Luciferianism, rebranded for a digital age. And when someone uncovers the truth, when researchers discover ruins that predate known civilization, when they find advanced architecture older than we're allowed to admit, they are destroyed, defunded, deplatformed, discredited. Because, you see, to admit those structures exist, to admit there was a kingdom before ours, is to admit the Watchers were real, that the Bible was right, and that God himself exists. Revelation tells us the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was cast to earth, and his angels with him. They didn't come in fire, they came in light. They came offering peace, knowledge, and unity. They came to be worshipped again. Today they rule through governments and churches, ideologies and entertainment, technology and ritual. They no longer need to be seen, only obeyed. The deception was never about green men in space. It was about taking worship from the Most High and redirecting it to the fallen. They don't want to invade, they want to be welcomed, and for most of the world, they already have been. They didn't come from distant galaxies, they fell from heaven.
They're not trying to go for an invasion, they want to be welcomed. Wow.
You know, music came from the demonic realm. Okay?
Music came from the demonic.
The devil was one of the chief culprits of that.
What?
Satan himself.
All right, we're going to come back to Aleister Crowley. What do you mean the devil created music? I fucking love music.
He brought music on the earth.
But it's a beautiful thing.
It doesn't mean it's all bad either, but I got to explain to you. So this is what I was trying to get to an hour ago, and we keep going off tangents. I hope the audience can keep up. And
I hope they can too.
I hope they don't.
You're like a freight train, bro. Gotta let you roll.
There's so many moving pieces. This
I
is
know.
a very broad topic with a lot of very important things.
Yep.
To kind of gather it all back in. When God created Adam, before he even created him, the devil, Satan as he's known, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The enemy of humanity. Okay? This species lived on Earth long before humanity. Okay? Before the first human being ever existed, before ancient Sumeria, before any of this stuff, Billy, Carson, God had other creations on this earth. But now what's interesting to me is that from the, from the Abrahamic perspectives, like, why was it always the earth being used as like this kind of like testing ground? There's so many other planets, right? Why, for some reason, he created that species? They were on here before us, long before us. The demonic realm. Now remember, English does not serve the description of what these beings are. It doesn't translate well into English. Because we think demon, they're only evil. That's it. Christianity tries to make up for describing them by saying, no, they're not all evil, they're fallen angels. But that's inaccurate. And I'll tell you why I think it's inaccurate. So I explained earlier, angels are creations of light that have no free will. Even those two angels, they couldn't do what they wanted to do. God made them go and test people if they want to learn black magic. They didn't say, hey, God, I'm going down to earth and I'm going to... No, he said, okay, you want to see how human beings are? Go down there, test them. They didn't get to do it on their own initiative. They made the choice that he allowed them to make. But there was no free will for them. They can only do what God commands them to do. The demonic realm was created from a smokeless fire. Some of the scholars think maybe some type of electrical current. We don't really know. We know that they're made from a smokeless flame, and we know human beings, based on the Abrahamic faith, were created from all the different soils of the earth.
How do we know they're made from a
The
smokeless
sand,
flame?
the
No,
dark earth.
not that.
But look at the races.
The demonic realm.
Look at their skin colors.
Hold on, back
They
up.
literally look like the colors of the earth.
Back up. You got. If you're not gonna wear the headphones, if I gotta stop you for something, you gotta take my cues there.
Go.
All right. How do we know that thing about? I don't even remember what you said now. The demonic realm. What is it? It came from smoke and fires. How do we know that?
Smokeless flames.
Smokeless flames. How do we know that?
This is the description, at least in the Islamic tradition, of that species. We know a lot about them from the Christian and Judaic tradition. A lot of that overlaps also. More intense descriptions of what these beings actually are. What I believe is going on right now is nothing more than a New Age movement of the New Age to convince humanity they were created by aliens and not God. Their only goal is to lead us astray. Period.
They have larger eyes than humans do. Their eyes are roughly twice the size of our eyes. And when they're young, they're blue and white, just like ours. When you look at them, they look just like people with larger eyes. The eyes spread around the side of their head more than a human's does, and they're very prominent. And their eyesight is as good, at least, as that of a cat, and their hearing is as good as, at least, as that of a dog. They're capable of making sounds with their vocal cords that humans can't hear, just the way that I'm told rhinoceroses can do. But they can hear them, and they're well aware of this. When I was out there among them, it wouldn't be uncommon to apparently hear animal sounds out in the sagebrush. Sounds like meadowlarks, or dogs barking, or horses whinnying. Really, it was the aliens. When they would walk in on me, if they felt like just talking between themselves, they were perfectly capable of talking between themselves using sounds too high for me to hear. They have larger eyes than humans themselves.
Are those Palladians or what? If you made it this far, the code word is Wednesday Mysteries. Go ahead and drop Wednesday Mysteries in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one. You really rock with your boy and you made it all the way through the video. And I just want to say thank you. Your support means the world to me. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you later.